Right, hello, and welcome to season 2 of Tamara Unfiltered. Right, it is good to be back. I have taken a little break. I think I'm a little bit rusty. I had to start this 3 times. Please, can we not have to start this again? Now, it is, where are we? We're January, so I obviously should be saying Happy New Year, but I kind of wanted to start this with just a reminder that it might not be a Happy New Year for you. You might not feel like doing January newness now, which is absolutely fine. I do think we have got it completely backwards. As per usual, everything we are told is a lie and everything we are doing is probably quite wrong. So in January, when everyone's like, Happy New Year, let's set goals, let's do new things, let's be amazing, I'm normally not in that place. And I find that is because seasonally, no one and nothing is in that place. It is winter. In winter, everything dies. The trees, dead. The animals, playing dead because they're hibernating, right? All the plants are not blooming, they're dead as well, and just everything is very much at rest. And then we're told in our Western world, oh, it's the new year, you've got to set some new goals and do some new amazing things. And I honestly think it's a lot of pressure, especially when you're feeling the wintry effects, because most of us, we are seasonal beings, we're seasonal creatures, and the winter is, I think personally, an opportunity to actually rest, restore and rebalance so you can get ready to do some New Year shit at the actual New Year, which I do believe is April, you know, when they do your taxes and stuff. So I'm not really on this New Year, new me thing. Every day is a new day and an opportunity to do something great, but I don't use this time personally to be trying to do a lot of great things. And I feel like for a lot of people, they set themselves up for failure because what do you do over Christmas? Just complete and nothing healthy happens over Christmas, let's be real. And then New Year comes and you're like, right, I'm going to be super healthy, and then obviously you fail because, you know, everything's dead, you are not feeling like it, and also you filled yourself up with a bunch of shit from Christmas. So I just feel like it can actually be quite a disheartening time, especially if you have got a lot of things you want to change. You use this season to try and change and then you fail miserably. It kind of sets the tone for the year. So I would just like to suggest, if you're not feeling very brand new and if you're not feeling like you can, that's okay. Maybe don't do anything for a little while. Wait for April. I feel like the spring, the key's in the name, that's when you're ready to spring into action. That's when you're going to be feeling this kind of energy that they're trying to make you feel like you should be feeling now, which again, you're not wrong for not feeling. In fact, I'd argue you're completely normal. Anyway, so it is the New Year's. I haven't been doing much New Year's stuff, but as per usual, I'm on a mission to do great shit. We've just obviously had Christmas. I wanted to just talk a little bit about what's been going on. Christmas wasn't bad, but we all got really sick. I feel like the last few years we have got very ill over Christmas. We're not a very sickly family, touch wood. We're quite a healthy bunch and we don't get unwell. And I especially don't get unwell. When I say we get sick, I'm talking about the kids. So the last few Christmases, the kids have been unwell. I always say, I don't have time to be sick. And I genuinely mean that because I don't. What mum of 5 kids, single mum of 5 kids has got I don't have time to be sick. So I don't get ill. However, over Christmas, something struck me down. If you've been following along on Instagram, you know I'm a bit of a tinfoil hat wearer. I was convinced it's the new... If you remember, actually, if you listen to my last podcast at the end of season 1, I was saying how I think there's going to be like another attempt at a lockdown this year and there's going to be some sort of brand new disease that we've all got to be scared of. Anyway, so I got very sick over Christmas. And like I said, I don't get sick, but I was ill. I actually felt like I was at death's door. It was really bad. I think because I don't ever get sick, I'm such a baby when I do, because it's just, I don't know, I just didn't cope very well. I actually spent 3 days crying. And do you know what? I actually want to talk about a couple of things that helped me because I discovered well, I actually hadn't discovered it now, but I used it to get better and it's just really wowed me. Anyway, we got really sick. I got sick first. It started as, I don't know, just like a flu, I guess. I didn't really have much snot, but I was just so chesty and so, you know, when you like, I couldn't even touch my skin. It just hurt. Everything hurt and I just was really flipping ill. And that went on for about 4 days. And then I started getting really sick, like really sick. I couldn't hold anything down. And it was also then coming out the other end. This all got quite dramatic, actually. Imagine one of my friends, she had said to me, she was like, you need to call 111, because I was, sorry if this is about to be TMI, do not suggest you listen to this if you're having your breakfast, but I was like pooing black stuff. I felt like I'd got to the end of my poo. You know when a baby, you have a new baby and it does that black poo? It's like their first poo. I felt like I was having that, and I felt like it was my last day. And I was being really sick. I couldn't hold anything down, so I called 111. They seemed quite, I don't know. I don't even know why they did this, but they were like, we're sending you an ambulance. And I was like, right. Anyway, 2 hours later, this ambulance showed up. Big up these two ambulance people as well, these two fit women. It was so nice to seeing like powerful women doing powerful things. They were just so lovely. Anyway, so these two lovely ambulance women showed up, did all my checks and everything, and they were like, look, you're okay. And they said to me, there is this like bug, there's lots of bugs going around, like everybody's kind of in a similar position, just persist. And they said, well, I don't remember what they said to me, but there was like, if this keeps, I think it was the black poo thing, there was like, if this happens again, just go to A&E. Anyway, in amongst that, she's obviously on her iPad kind of like looking up symptoms and typing in like what I'm saying to her. And she said to me, because this was, I'm not going to say I'm not an emotional person, but I'm not a baby. Like, I tend to cry over silly things. I don't cry over the serious stuff. Anyway, I had been inconsolably beside myself. Like, I was literally waking up and I would just start crying because my skin hurt and I just couldn't even make a cup of tea. I was just in such a state. So I just kept crying until, and actually this is what I wanted to talk about. There was two things mainly that got me through this. And the first one was this NYN oil. This Shmanabis oil literally saved my life. I was waking up, crying inconsolably, like literally just like actual sobbing, like couldn't get a hold of myself. I was having a cup of tea. My kids, honestly, I realised through being ill how useless my kids were, but let me not digress. But I was getting them to make me like just cups of oolong and putting like a spoon of oil in it. And it was the only thing, within about 15-20 minutes, I just calmed down and actually stopped crying and just was able to get a hold of myself. And then I'd have like a all right 3 to 4 hours, and then obviously the oil would wear off, and then I'd be back just fucking sobbing uncontrollably again. It's almost like I don't know, I actually don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm getting to my point. So when these ambulance people were here, she was typing in the symptoms and she said, some of these viruses can actually really like disrupt your hormones and cause like an overproduction of them. And this was so interesting. And she said to me, basically, she said, I think you've got something like that, which is why, because I just said to her, like, I can't stop crying, like, and I really actually don't know why. It's just so silly. And then she said about this bug, whatever, helping you to not like it's help, but making you overproduce hormones, which is making me feel so flipping deranged. Anyways, I kept on taking the oil because that was honestly the only thing that was, I don't know, making me feel like in a head state where I could actually cope with being ill, if that even made any sense. Honestly, it was dark. There was a point, I don't even know why I'm laughing, there was a point where I wanted to kill myself, genuinely wanted to kill myself. And then I realised it's not actually easy to kill yourself. You can't just do that. You literally can't. Like I was like that, like I just want to die, just let this be over. And then I thought, you can't even fucking do that. And I think that was making me feel even worse. So I don't know, I was not in a good place. But that oil, I don't know. It's funny because going through all of that, it made me realise like how much, because obviously I smoke weed, not that I take advantage of it, but I do smoke a lot, it's in my life, but I don't think I realise how much it actually helps in certain situations, like being sick. Like I've been getting, occasionally get a bit run down, you put a few drops of that oil in your tea and you just feel so much better. And it's just, I don't know, we as humans, we have built-in endocannabinoid receptors. I don't know if you know this, but it's like our body have these receptors that want cannabis, right? And so I feel like a lot of people who take the oil and feel so much better, it is because their receptors are like, oh, finally, you've fed us. So, and I think for me, again, it was just my body did need it. And it was just making me, again, it was more mental that it was helping more than anything. It wasn't actually helping anything physical, but it was just consoling me to the point where I could actually, didn't actually manage to kill myself. At the time, that didn't seem like a positive thing, but I'm glad I'm alive. Anyway, another thing that really helped me, oh my God, I just want to finish telling this story about the overproduction of hormones thing, because this was so interesting to me. She said to me, the hormones are basically being produced in your, I think she said like your spit glands. And I felt really really salivary, if that even makes any sense. I had all like this dry saliva forming in my mouth, and she said to me, all the hormones are in that. She said, it sounds gross, she said, but if you can, just spit that out. She said, because swallowing it is what's making you feel sick. And I just started doing all this, relating back to when I was pregnant and morning sickness and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, there's hormones in my spit. I'm obviously not spitting out my spit because that's disgusting, but it's actually what's making me feel so sick. So that was just, I don't know, that opened my eyes and really was just actually crazy to hear all of that. Anyway, so they've obviously gone and I am just now dying at home. But in amongst all of this, on like day 4 of being sick, I had got, sorry, if you're watching this on YouTube, I have to get up because I don't know if I pressed record, but anyway, I'm going to carry on. What was I just flipping saying? No way, I left my thought here and then I moved away and oh, right, day 4 of feeling unwell. Oh god, let me just, can I even do this while I'm doing this? I can't even do it. Right, I'm just going to have to carry on and hope for the best, guys. Basically, I'm supposed to put my phone on aeroplane mode when I film, because if someone rings me, it will stop, but let's just channel. I've got no friends, no one gives a shit about me, no one is calling me today. Anyway, so day 4 of this getting unwell, my gums, do you floss? If you floss, you should be flossing, but you know when you floss and you like accidentally slip or whatever and you cut your gum in between there and it's really sore? Imagine you did that to every single tooth. All of my gums were like, I could suck my teeth and there was just blood coming out. Sorry if this is TMI, but I had got so unwell. My gums were just fucked. And they were so painful and raw. It was just awful. Anyway, I'm going to have to go off into another place for this story for you to understand how I discovered this amazing thing. And I would like to, for the record, remind you, I am not a doctor. This is not health advice. You should really not be listening to people on the internet with no qualifications, and you should definitely be doing your own research. But I do want to share this because it's so fucking interesting. A few months ago, I had I'm going to digress again. I've had a lot of trauma downstairs. And I find when I get stressed, especially in the love area of life, I will get like boils, like angry fucking things. And I had this thing come up on the inside of my leg. And honestly, that is the worst place to have it. If you have that, you know that it's just fucking awful. It's painful. It constantly rubs. It's unattractive. You don't feel sexy. It's just not very nice. Anyway, I had this for ages. I couldn't get rid of it. I really just couldn't get rid of it. And my good friend, Layla, bless her, she said to me, oh, try some hydrogen peroxide. And I was like, what? Anyway, I had some in the cupboard. I don't know why I had it. Now I must say, this is the hydrogen. What I'm about to show you, if you're watching on YouTube, is not actually what you should get, because in desperation I bought this from a hardware store when I couldn't get it from the pharmacy. But you should be buying hydrogen peroxide 3%, food grade, medical grade, if you are going to get some from the chemist. Anyway, she had told me to start using this, and I did. I just used the cotton pad, wiped it on, and I shit you not, the next day the thing had actually started to heal. And within a week, this thing had gone. And you know what? Moving on from that area is now so smooth, and I haven't had anything come up since. Like, again, touch wood. Anyway, so it's obviously very good at like healing wounds. And my friend said to me, this is again when I was like really ill, she was like, why don't you try like using the hydrogen peroxide as a mouthwash? And I was like, you know, the minute she said that, I just felt like that's what I need to do. I was like, that is what I need that. I just felt like this crazy urge to get this stuff in my mouth. Anyway, I had barely even a mouthful left in the supply of what I had because I'd been using it. And the one time I used it once, and then I went to sleep, and when I woke up, they felt like they had come back together. Like they were not bleeding as much. They just felt better. Anyway, I will not forget that day, because the little town where I live, I just dressed up like a crackhead hobo. I think I was 3 days no shower, and I was like, I've got to go and get this hydrogen peroxide. And I just walked around my whole town going from chemist to chemist. No, I had it. The chemist is telling me they've got a problem supplying it. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, I ended up on Deliveroo, of all places. There's a hardware store, and they had this, which is they're putting it for like stain removal, and it's really not food grade. However, I was so desperate, and I just felt so bad. I was like, I'll take it. Cost me this. If you buy this in the chemist, it's like £1, maybe £2. From Deliveroo, it cost me £12 plus delivery. But again, I was desperate. So I used that for a couple of days, and within a couple of days, all my gums had cleared up, to the point where now, I mean, we're about a couple of weeks on for that. I'm now using this just like maybe every couple of days, just for maintenance, because I've now realised how good it is and what an absolute bacterial murderer it is. Your bacteria in your mouth is kind of relative to all of your health. So if you can kind of keep that healthy, you will be healthy. So I've just been using that as a mouthwash, and honestly, my teeth and my gums have never felt so stable. I've had 5 children. Everybody knows, well, not everybody knows, might not be common knowledge, but every child you have, apparently a layer strips off your teeth. And my teeth and my gums, I don't know, haven't always been the strongest, but they just feel so strong, feel so stable. Anyway, so crazy to say, but hydrogen peroxide and cannabis is what got me through this sickness. Anyway, back to the sickness. What it was, I don't know. The crazy thing was, when I looked up all the symptoms, turns out I had bird flu. Obviously, I didn't get diagnosed. I did not want to go to the doctors, for one. 2, I didn't want to help them start adding up their statistics, because it's funny, because I looked up, I was like, well, what is the government trying to kill us with? Bird flu, it looked like, because there'd been a few articles in the papers trying to, say like bird flu's happening. And then when I did some more research, I found out our government recently has bought 5 million bird flu vaccinations just in case of another pandemic scenario. Swear to God, that's what's written on their website. So I was like, fuck me, I've got bird flu. And all the symptoms matched up, and I was just, I don't know, I made a video on Instagram, and I know a lot of people think I'm crazy, but whatever. Do you know what's really funny? When I got sick, I was like, this is it, because I'd literally the week, I think 2 weeks, maybe a week before, I just filmed that podcast where I was kind of saying, like, oh, I think there's going to be another lockdown and there'll be a new disease and whatever. And then lo and behold, I got that sick. And my really good friend who knows me well, I texted me, I was like, he wanted to come over. I was like, I'm so sick, I'm dying. And he was like, oh my God, he was like, he's like, do you remember when you got COVID before everybody else? He was like, I hope it's not the new whatever. And I was just like, oh my God, I said, that's probably exactly what's happened. Like, as an Aquarius, we never follow a trend, we will always start a trend. So I feel like maybe I don't know. I really don't. Again, I couldn't confirm the bird flu. I didn't want to get it confirmed, but all the symptoms matched up. And the symptoms were like normal flu symptoms, but with a side of like conjunctivitis, which I had, which was wild. And when I read that, I was like, oh, it all makes sense. Anyway, talking of conjunctivitis, most of you who are listening to this are in the UK. Actually, even if you're not in the UK, you will know about this, because this is wild. Just a few days after Christmas, or maybe it was New Year's, a fog descended across the flipping planet. Like, literally everywhere was foggy. And I went out in that fog, because even though I've got probably the biggest tinfoil hat, why did I not think that fog could have been trying to kill us? I don't know what I thought was going on. It was just, I don't know. Anyway, that fog, turns out, someone collected a sample of it. It has got a very disgusting strain of bacteria in it that can cause things like eye problems and whatnot. Anyway, imagine my eyes, and this is going to be a bit of TMI, but I have been they're not eye boogers. They are more than that. I'm wiping my eye and doing this and pulling my finger away, and this thing's just going on and on and on. This string of, I don't know what the fuck is it, a parasite, a little worm, I don't know, but it's been bothering me. And to the point where in the evenings, I wasn't able to like see properly. My vision was like really blurred, and then I'm wiping my eye and all these things are coming out. It's fucking disgusting. Anyway, again, I remembered about the hydrogen peroxide, and obviously I know you cannot get that in your eye. Like, you do not get that shit in your eye. However, I just got some cotton pads, wetted them with it, and I just very gently wiped over my eyes. And within 2 days, those crazy weird eye booger worm fucking fog, whatever the fuck it was in my eyes, has completely cleared up. I am a convert to this. Everywhere you apply it to, it just makes it so smooth and fucking nice. Now, I know there might be a bit of controversy with this, because I think this might be what people use to lighten or whiten their skin. And you will know how much I love a tan. I'm never trying to whiten or lighten my skin, so I've not been using it too much, but I've used it a couple of times on my face, and it is nice. Anyway, so yeah, hydrogen peroxide, probably a really wild thing to be sharing on the podcast, but nonetheless, here we flipping are. Anyway, so that was that. We were quite sick over Christmas. Back to the story of what's been going on. And we didn't get up to too much, but it's just nice to, I guess, be home with everybody. Anyway, in our family news, Rocco, who's my eldest, who is going to be 20 in a couple of weeks, which is crazy to me that I have a 20-year-old with really hairy legs. But yeah, he's going to be 20 in a couple of weeks. And literally 3 days after Christmas, he went off to Thailand with his friends. And it was just it was a real proud mum moment. You never know how your kids are going to turn out, and being a single mum, people love to tell you how, probably going to fail and your child's going to be this and that, and not people around me, but society. And I never knew, and I still don't really know how Rocco's going to turn out, but the fact that he's 19, I mean, at his age, I was literally pregnant with him, really not considering going to Thailand with my best friends and just living a very different life. And I'm not going to moan about the struggle, but it's not been easy doing this on my own. But to now see him be my age, be that age I was when I had him, and not I fucked up. He was the greatest thing that ever happened to me, but it's just mad to see him living such a different life. And I am so proud, and I'm so happy that he's actually growing up, getting to experience this kind of life. Like, I don't actually think it's normal how I've grown up, and a lot of the people I know, like, all this fucking trauma and bad things happening, like, I don't know if it's actually supposed to be like that. And I really, all I've ever wanted to do was break the cycles, the fucking shitty cycles that have been going on for generations in my family. And again, I can't say I actually have 100% yet. We don't know what's going to happen with Rocco, but he's a very good boy, and he's doing really cool things, and I think he's going good places in life. So that was him going off to Thailand was actually really felt like a big achievement for me. I didn't pay for it or anything. Even that felt like an achievement. He's funded all that himself. He's gonna, he's doing all this himself. It's just, I could never, at his age, I could have never. So yeah, I'm very proud of him. But he's gone off to Thailand, and I am feeling very proud. And it's funny because there's been so much going on. I seem to have found myself back in a place where I don't really have any time to myself anymore for a long time. For most of, especially since my youngest was born, it's maybe like the last 5-6 years, I've had the children have gone to their dads consistently every weekend. And we've done it like that because they don't give me any money. And honestly, I don't think they're ever going to give me any money, and I just came to the conclusion years ago that I would be better off if they just had their children at the weekends and I use my weekends to make my own money, which is now what I do. However, I never really told the story of what happened with not my middle twos. God, I've got a funny order of baby fathers, by the way. Let me just let you know quickly. I have 2 baby fathers and I have 5 children. My first child, Rocco, and my last 2 children have the same dad, and the middle 2 have the same dad. Please don't ask. One day I will tell that story, but it's not going to be today. But Rocco's dad, basically, and the youngest 2 dad, he last Christmas went off the rails, lost his mind. He went off for 6 months and had a breakdown, and has come back and is all right and has been getting on with things, and now I think is maybe going back into a bad place. I don't know, but he's missed a couple of weekends with the boys. He's basically gone AWOL. And the funny thing is, not that any of this is funny, but the odd thing is, I feel a strange calm coming into this year. I'm never trying to be cocky and be like, this is going to be my year, because we never know what's going to happen. But really, coming into this year, I just felt very positive. I feel a calm. I feel a sense of everything's going to be okay. Everything is okay. In fact, everything's great. And when he started messing me around, normally my thing is like, I get so mad. I'm like, I've got to work. How am I going to make money? You don't give me money. What am I going to do? And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to make this work. I'm literally going to make this work. I don't care. Anyway, so I've gone and bought a bunch of snacks, and I've only got 2 kids in the house, but I've locked them in their room. Not locked them, but they're in their rooms upstairs under strict instructions not to come out until I tell them it's safe. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to do that. You just have to make things work. But I don't know if it's this NMN. God, I'm going to do a whole podcast on NMN because that shit has genuinely changed my life. But I feel a weird sense of calm. And I don't know, I didn't get angry. I was just like, you're clearly not all right to have them. I will just have to level up again and make sure I can do all of this. And I don't know, it hasn't been the most positive start to the year if you looked at it, but actually to feel it, I feel really good. Like, I just feel like it's going to be okay. And also alongside that, God, here's a crazy story. Which I only just heard, by the way, and I'm a little bit pissed off at. Now, my middle 2, Amelia and Neo's dad, he met someone, I have discussed this before, he met someone quite a while ago, and they got together and they have just been together. Now, she's got 4 children, he's got 2 children, and I think she does a thing where she shares she does like a 50-50 split with her ex. So like he does 1 week, the kids do another week. Now, it is not my place to judge, but just remember her kids are already dealing with that. Like, I think that's a lot to, you live somewhere where it's just, I don't know. That's one of the reasons I've never gone for that with my baby fathers, because I just feel like it's too much upheaval for them. Plus, let's be real, they wouldn't fucking do it. They're useless. But her children are obviously dealing with that. And now every other weekend when she has her children, my children are there. They go and stay at her house, and I think they get on for the most part. But there has been some friction between her daughter and Amelia. Now, a couple of weekends ago, just after Christmas, they had gone to stay down there they'd gone for a week. Every big holiday, all the kids go to their dad's for a week. So they've gone there for a week. And again, no one told me this until like last week. But the girl and Amelia had started having an argument over really, really silly things. And then I think the girl said, "Your mum's a crackhead," talking about me. Now, Amelia knows her mum. She knows I smoke a lot of things and I do a lot of things, but smoking crack is not one of them. And I think things escalated. And I don't know what she said to the girl, but the girl has jumped on her and started attacking her. Now, the way Amelia's telling this story, I'm kind of really trying my hardest not to laugh, because it's very clear. This girl comes from, you have to understand, my kids come from, I'm going to say we're Londoners, we live in Surrey, but her dad's from like Battersea, and we're kind of London people, right? South London people. And these kids really are not. They're country kids. And I don't even know if this poor girl's ever even had a fight. So she's trying to beat up Amelia with all her might. Amelia's trying to get away from her. She hasn't hit her back or anything. She's not responding. Her brother Neo's there, and the other girl's brother's there, just like kind of letting this happen. The parents, well, I think we all know where they were and what they were doing, but they were upstairs. And anyway, so Amelia's tried to get up the stairs to get the parents, and the girl's like really just trying to batter her. So Amelia has turned around, just give her one thump in her face, and that's it. Claret everywhere. The girl's done. Now, it sounds fucked up, but I was like, that's my girl. That's my fucking girl. Because I've taught my children, you never start on anybody. Because first of all, you don't know who anybody is. Don't be throwing your weight around, and then, no, you just don't start with anybody. But you always defend yourself. If anybody starts with you, I say you fucking end it. Yeah. And I've always said that to them. So she ended that, and that was that. However, it's so funny again, taking this NMN. Like, I don't know what kind of fucking crazy, mature grown up I have become. But like, it's funny as well. It's not even just me trying to, the NMN. I think the universe is trying to make me mature, because I wrote out this message to my baby father. And it wasn't too mental, but I did end it, and I just said, look, tell that little girl if she ever touches my daughter again, I'm going to beat up her mum. Now, I get for some people that might be a bit much, but that's a very Tamara response, okay? But the message wouldn't send. It was so weird. I kept pressing send, and it's like, not sent, try again. So I kept pressing try again, and then something just went, Tamara, do you think maybe you should just be trying to act like a normal person and not even taking it there? And then I just started thinking, and I thought, you know what? Obviously, my reaction is to defend my people, my daughter especially. I'll fucking die for her. But then I just started thinking, God, what's the other side of this situation? It's this poor little girl who, her parents are broken up. She has to now live 1 week here, 1 week there. And then her mum has brought this man to live, he's basically moved in. And not only is he basically moved in, he's got his kids there every other fucking weekend. And I just feel like it's not very fair. And I equally don't think it's fair on Amelia to be having to go somewhere where she's clearly not liked. Like, and I also, this girl might try to suffocate her in her sleep. I don't know. Some people can bitches be crazy. So I don't want to put Amelia in that position. And I also think that little girl just needs a break. So I have said to their dad, I was like, I will now, the weekend you're supposed to go down there and be with her kids, I'll just keep the kids. And it is what it is. Again, I feel a strange calm about this year. Most of you who know me know I've been trying to manifest being a bloody basquillionaire for a long time. And I always say, oh, I feel it coming in. Honestly, I feel like it's mine. Something's shifted this year, and I just feel like I don't have a damn thing to worry about. Like, again, it might not seem like that if you look at my situation, but if you felt how I felt, you would just know everything is going to be awesome this year. Like, I don't have a fucking worry in the world. So the fact that I'm probably not going to catch a break from these kids again for a while doesn't even bother me. Like, I don't know, I just don't care. I have literally come into this 2025 with a new kind of calm, and I really like it. So, do you know what? I'm going to wrap this up now, but I just want to say, you might notice, I've got on a nice blue shirt today. I just want to tell you this crazy story. So, last year, I saw someone on Instagram post about, the colour purse you should buy for the year, like with regards to Chinese, not, I don't know if astrology is the right word, but you know when you get like the Chinese New Year and it's like the year of the rat, the pigeon, I don't know if it's a pigeon, but like there's the years of things. Alongside it being a year of a particular animal, you get like particular like colours and like things that are lucky. And so last year I saw this video this woman put up, and she just said it was the wood dragon year last year, and she said, so you want to get kind of like a green purse. She's like, having a green purse will help you attract money. And she talked about like that green, almost like that emerald green, that Harrods green. So I bought a really nice fancy purse last year, and I can't confirm whether or not that actually helped me with my finances, but my finances did okay. So this year I decided to look up what the colours are for this year's animal that's coming soon. Now this is so interesting because this, if you can see me, I'm wearing a blue shirt, and I've been really been dressing a bit more preppy. I've been wearing my navies and my golds, and just, I don't know, just trying to dress like that fancy jobless woman who's got nothing better to do than shopping Harrods all day. Anyway, I've been trying to dress like that, so bear that in mind. So I've gone to look up the animal and what the colours are for the year. Imagine the colours for the year are blue and gold and green. And I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, so I've become obsessed. My wardrobe, you're probably going to see the next few podcasts, me dressed in blue and some sort of hints of gold, because I do believe this is bringing luck to my year. Anyway, I just want to share that because it was so random. I thought, how mad is it that I have like unknowingly been attracted to the lucky colours of this year? It's so flipping weird. Anyway, not weird, not a coincidence. Just divine intervention as per usual, I'm sure. Anyway, I am going to wrap this up, but I just wanted to say welcome back. Been good to have a little catch up, and yeah, I'm going to be back next week with, I'm not sure what we're going to be talking about next week, plus I've got to film all these podcasts today, so I mean, who knows, could be fucking anything. I'll let you know when I figured out the lineup, but I will be back next week talking about something spectacular, and I really all hope you are feeling as good as me, and I will see you next week for another show. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for listening. I love you all very much. Mwah.